We're now 3 years into developing our mobile indie game, The Serpent and the Seed, and I can honestly say that the progress we have made these past 12 months has just blown me away. If you don't know already, The Serpent and the Seed is a musical, poetic, mobile adventure game inspired by Superbrothers' Sword and Sworcery EP, but based on the big story of the Bible. And for any Sword and Sworcery fans, at the end of this video I have the coolest crossover announcement. The premise of The Serpent and the Seed is that you are living in a far future world ruled by a serpent where his thorns and thistles have overtaken. He dubs himself the Prince of the Power of the Air, and even the birds have long since given up the power of flight. But together the birds uncover this long forgotten book that holds the secret to defeating the serpent, and as you dust it off, you're transported into its pages and you find yourself back where it all began, in the Garden of Eden. We ended 2022 with a game that looked like this. Whilst the bulk of the content was there in prototype form, we'd only just started working with our artist Greg, and even by the end of January we still basically only had one proper scene. But the player character now turned as you walked around, and already it breathed such life into it. Then in February we had the real artwork for your little Robin, and that just took it to another level. The deadline we had in our sights was the first week of April, when we were exhibiting at the Word Alive conference in Wales. And the progress we'd made so far had been all right, but with a timely intervention from my project manager,
don't give up now, Andy,
things just went into overdrive during March. We managed to get so many scenes done, a ton of animations, the first little puzzle elements in the game, the first lot of Sophie Killingly's beautiful lettering that features throughout the game, plus the amazing song that our musicians poor Bishop Hooper had written for Act 1.
Cursed is the snake, if your womb will feel the same, as it writhes in pain to see a child come.
Getting to show off what we'd accomplished at Word Alive was just the most amazing feeling. After 18 years trying to make a game like this was the first time I'd been able to put an iPad in people's hands and say, play this. People absolutely loved it, and it was a real validation of the whole concept. I've put a link in the description below about the devlog video I made about that whole experience. April through to July were spent working on the Abraham and Moses sections of the game, before flying off to California to show it off at the Christian Game Developers Conference. Again, this was a great experience, reassuring us that we could make a whole game and it wasn't just a one-act wonder. It felt quite different to our first demo, but in a really good way, with our first proper puzzle scene and a more challenging minigame. We got a ton of invaluable feedback from the attendees at the conference that has already helped to make it a better game. Again, look for the link in the description if you want the full devlog video. During this time we also ran a crowdfunding campaign with some matched giving, and collectively you wonderful people helped us raise £32,000 towards the project. Thank you so much, it has been such a blessing to us. August and September were mainly spent building the David and Goliath section of the game. I really enjoyed this. Goliath was such a fun character to animate. We really wanted to make sure that the gameplay served the story really well. And again, I've done a whole video digging into that, which I think is also one of my favourite videos that I've made this year. In October and November, we tackled the really climactic scenes about the death of Jesus. It was pretty daunting, I'm not going to lie, but I'm really happy with how they turned out. The song that poor Bishop Hooper created for us based on Isaiah 53 is absolutely phenomenal, and Greg's artwork really serves to create the perfect atmosphere.
Oh, cursed is the man who hangs from a tree. Oh, cursed is the snake with the law and with the ground.
I've also had the chance to go back and work on a few scenes from other parts of the game, not least of all the Tree of Life in the Garden of Eden. Oh, plus I tidied my desk. So that's a bit of a whirlwind tour, but I hope you'll agree that the progress we've made this year has just been staggering. God has been so good to us. And it's almost time for our really cool announcement for Sword and Sorcery fans.
Good.
I dug out my old blog post the other day and I can date the birth of this project exactly now. So January 2005. So that's pretty much 19 years. And to have come this far this year is just amazing. Oh, hello me of 19 years ago.
I just don't get, why is it that you've been able to make all this progress and I've just got absolutely nowhere?
Well, remember, all the progress we've made this year has only been possible because of those foundations that we laid over the past 2 years, which felt a lot harder going at times. You and I are the same, aren't we? We always want to rush into the gorgeous artwork and the beautiful music. But we had to build that prototype first, and we didn't even need an artist for that.
Oh, I wish I'd done that then.
It would also be remiss of me not to mention my friend James, who's been project managing me week by week, helping keep the thing on track. It's been such a game changer, so thank you so much, James. And thank you too to my amazing teammates working on the Serpent The Seed. They are all incredibly talented, and it has been such a joy seeing their passion for this project. In January, we're heading to the Pocket Gamer Connects London conference, which will be a chance to connect with a slightly wider audience and see how they respond to the game, and I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully we can then fill in the rest of the content as we start thinking about setting a release date for the game. I'd love you to continue journeying with us over these coming months, so do give this video a like and subscribe. We're on all the social media platforms as @Serpent Seed Game, and I'd love you to head to our website serpentseedgame.org and get onto our monthly email newsletter. So as you know, I go on and on about how The Serpent and the Seed is massively inspired by Superbrothers Sword and Sorcery EP, and a huge part of what makes that game so special is Jim Guthrie's incredible soundtrack. And I could not be happier to announce that Jim has written a track especially for The Serpent and the Seed and our little snake minigame. And here's a little sneak peek. So there you go, what a year. I am so delighted by all we've done this year and so excited for next year. Bring it on.